Caitlin Clark back on the Forbes list, back on top of the Forbes list once again.
By the way, in case you're wondering, Angel Reese is not on this list. As if she should be. Coco Gauff's on here. Serena Williams is on here. But Angel's not here. But Caitlin is.
So this is what just happened. Caitlin Clark has been named one of Forbes' top 25 most powerful women in sports. And the WNBA, particularly Angel Reese, is not taking it well. Forbes ranked Clark 4th overall, ahead of Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, Nelly Korda, and even Simone Biles. Let that sink in. She is the highest-ranked athlete on the list. Guess who is completely missing? Angel Reese.
Caitlin Clark is number 4 on the 2025 Forbes Most Powerful Women in Sports list. She is the highest-ranked athlete on the list. The highest-ranked athlete on the list. Clark has, in the last 2 years, been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire.
Caitlin Clark is ranked 4th on Forbes' 2025 list of the most powerful women in sports. She is the top-ranked athlete on the list. The top-ranked athlete on the list. Clark has been the spark that ignited the match that set women's sports ablaze during the last 2 years. Envy can virtually be heard crackling throughout the league. This isn't simply another rating. This represents a power shift. For the past 2 seasons, athletes like Reese have rolled their eyes and called Caitlin overrated. Now, that same player has surpassed global icons on a Forbes list that considers influence rather than popularity. And that's what truly irritates them, since they know Caitlin is no longer simply a player. She's the brand that keeps their paychecks relevant. Here's when things become interesting. Angel Reese is extremely unhappy and even denies that Clark deserves it. Today, we're unveiling Reese's funny reaction to Clark's most recent prize. Before we get into the details, make sure to show Caitlin some love in the comments.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you?
Forbes did not sugarcoat it either. They dubbed her the face of a new era in women's athletics. Think about it. The face. Not one of, nor among the faces. Millions of sponsorships, record-breaking TV ratings, and ticket websites that failed due to high demand from fans. She is reinventing what power looks like in modern sports. Despite this, several players continue to treat her like any other WNBA star. Let's get serious. Forbes does not place just any athlete above Serena Williams and Simone Biles. That isn't simply about statistics, though she does have some. That is an issue of influence. The only women who rank above her are billionaire executives and team owners. Caitlin Clark isn't simply lifting the bar. She is the bar.
We just have to understand that when a transformational figure enters the fray, you got to pause and then isolate and compartmentalize and give them the love that they're due. And in this case, it belongs to Caitlin Clark.
There's only one that can do what Caitlin Clark did. Bring all those eyes. For pure basketball purists, there's nobody like her.
How did the WNBA respond? With the same quiet that cries jealousy louder than any words could. There was no one congratulations post from the league. Except for the Indiana Fever, no team accounts retweeted anything. Do you know why? Because everybody knows Forbes got it right. Caitlin Clark is responsible for reviving attendance at several stadia. She sold out games in previously echoed markets. She filled stadiums that hadn't been full in years. Instead of praising her, other players are criticizing her, tweeting about how everyone adds value. Yes, but just one of you attracted millions of new viewers. That represents an entirely other level of worth.
Here it says, Caitlin Clark, guard, Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark has turned her record-breaking college basketball career into early dominance in the WNBA. Her estimated $8.1 million in income for her rookie season with the Indiana Fever was bolstered by big deals with Nike, Wilson, Gatorade, and signals a shift in how female athletes are being valued in the world of professional sports. Last month, the Fever announced that Clark will be sidelined with an injury for the remainder of the WNBA season to focus on her injury, but the injury doesn't change the fact that Clark has, in the last 2 years, been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on.
And Forbes did not only include her on the list. They explained why. They wrote that Clark used her record-breaking college career to establish early domination in the professionals. Translation: she does in one season what others cannot in a decade. They promoted her brand deals. Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade are all high-profile partners doubling down on the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's not kid ourselves. Those brands don't waste millions on mediocrity. They invest in cultural forces. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who had spent months downplaying Caitlin's influence, is now witnessing her opponent become the global face of women's athletics. You can imagine the frustration. While Caitlin's portrait appears in Forbes magazine, Reese is back online like postings about media bias and overhyped celebrities. The irony writes itself. Caitlin did not ask for the spotlight. She deserved it.
What is your stance on that?
So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm like, cool. Like, the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can just hoop. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
The funniest thing is that Forbes rated her 4th. The 3 names above her are billionaires. And immediately beneath them, Caitlin Clark, just 24 years old, is running women's basketball like a business empire. That is not a flex. That is a revolution. Meanwhile, Angel Reese and a few of her pals are tweeting cryptic messages such, "The media crowns who they want." Yes, they do. They crown the person who sells out your stadiums.
You just take this lady right here. You may be like, well, Rhodes, who is this? This is Gail Benson. She is the owner of the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Pelicans in the National Football League and in the NBA. The two teams now carry a combined valuation of $8.35 billion. That's billion with a B, by the way. While Benson herself has an estimated net worth of $7.9 billion.
See, the truth stings. Caitlin Clark has achieved widespread celebrity status. She no longer needs the league to validate her. She's doing charity golf events, national interviews, and talk show appearances, and the WNBA logo always follows her. That's what Angel Reese and other players are most concerned about. Caitlin does not need the WNBA to become renowned. The WNBA relies on Caitlin to survive. And this is the truth. Her accomplishment genuinely benefits everyone else. When Forbes writes about Caitlin, they mention the WNBA. When her games sell out, everyone benefits from increased ticket sales. When her jersey breaks records, the league's product sales increase across the board. She's lifting everyone and still gets side-eyed about it. That's not rivalry. It's resentment. Let's talk about facts. Caitlin, you have a record attendance. Caitlin, you have record viewership and the best retail sales in league history. Caitlin returns for one season. That was all it required. Now, Forbes confirms what we already knew. She isn't only an athlete. She represents a cultural transformation. And that is something Angel Reese cannot stand. Because Caitlin is not just breaking records, but also breaking down barriers. Forbes recognized her for more than just her statistics. She was honored for her power. The sort of power that alters league operations, fan engagement, and brand investment. Meanwhile, Angel is tweeting memes and cryptic comments instead of celebrating the one guy who is creating more opportunities for everyone.
Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple.
The timing could not be more ironic. The WNBA is deep into CBA negotiations. Players are requesting bigger pay, larger revenue sharing, and increased recognition. And the lady who has shown her worth to advertisers and television networks has recently been named one of the world's most powerful women. Caitlin Clark is not the problem. She is the proof of concept. Nonetheless, although Forbes praises her, the silence within the WNBA is deafening. That's how you know it hit deep. Because envy never claps. It scrolls. You can bet Angel and others read the headline. They just didn't have the grace to admit it. Instead, we hear the same tired talking points about unity and equality, while ignoring the one player who has made equality profitable.
Caitlin Clark is the most powerful woman in not just basketball, but women's sports, all of women's sports. I think more so than Simone Biles, Serena, Coco, all of them. You name it. There is one person that is bringing people to television screens. And that's her on the screen. Caitlin.
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark owes the league nothing. She transformed the Indiana Fever, one of sports' smallest markets, into a national phenomenon. She has filled arenas from coast to coast. She has rekindled interest in women's basketball among young people. That's legacy-level influence, and she's only in year one. So when Forbes names her one of the 25 most powerful women in sports, they're not kidding. They are acknowledging reality. She's accomplishing what no commissioner, public relations campaign, or slogan ever could. Transforming women's basketball into a worldwide conversation.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
Remember when Caitlin Clark broke viewership records? Silence. When she sold out arenas around the country in quick succession, there was another degree of hush. And now that she has been officially designated one of the top 25 most powerful women in sports, the silence is deafening. You'd think the league would be applauding her achievement, but it's just crickets. Here is the thing. Forbes does not base this on hype or popularity. They considered concrete numbers, genuine influence, quantifiable economic power, brand worth, and media reach. Caitlin checked every box with ease. She's not only playing basketball, she's already running a multi-million-dollar enterprise before turning 24. Nike is promoting her signature sneaker. Wilson is developing her own basketball line. And Gatorade is giving her the attention that male superstars often receive. Meanwhile, the rest of the league, including Angel Reese, continues to tweet about fair pay and begs the commissioner for rises. The contrast is painful. To be honest, this Forbes acknowledgement revealed the truth that supporters have been shouting for months. The WNBA does not have a marketing problem. It has a jealousy issue. Instead of embracing Caitlin's global fame, the league and players like Reese view her as a threat. They might be celebrating her accomplishment as a win for everyone, but instead they act defensively, attempting to control a narrative that is already out of their hands because you cannot manage. Caitlin Clark. She is the narrator. She is the reason ESPN began pushing WNBA games to primetime. She's the reason Fever shirts are selling out around the country. She's the reason why kids who have never watched women's basketball are now captivated to the screen.
There's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her? Other than she plays really, really hard, and I liken her game to Moses Malone. Moses Malone was relentless. So it's not that I don't appreciate who she is or how she plays. There is no one like Caitlin Clark. In the history of the WNBA,
Forbes spelled it pretty clearly. Clark's impact extends beyond the court. They stated that her achievement represents a revolution in the way female athletes are valued. That is not fluff. That represents a societal revolution in motion. She's compelling marketers, networks, and even sports executives to reconsider how they view women's sports. So what is Angel Reese doing? Throwing shadow. Social media contains subtle insults. Vague posts on other powerful women who do not receive media coverage. Sure, but none of them are packing 18,000-person stadia on a random Tuesday night. The jealousy is no longer disguised. It seeps through every tweet, and people forget that being in the spotlight comes with a lot of strain. Caitlin is not simply out to win basketball games. She carries the entire league's reputation on her shoulders. Every phrase, every expression is examined. When she is quiet, they call her ungrateful. When she celebrates, people call her arrogant. She cannot win in their eyes, but she does win where it counts. Now add a Forbes ranking to the mix, and resentments are in full bloom. When one woman breaches the ceiling, they all swore was unbreakable. The same players who preach about women supporting women remain silent.
I thought scoring, yeah, she's the all-time greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, men's or women's, but passing like this? I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque bounce passing. I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque two-handed, full court, touchdown pass kind of passing. The likes of which I don't see in the WNBA.
It's absolutely amusing. The league complains about expanding the game, but when someone does, they panic. Caitlin Clark represents growth. She has been the walking solution to the WNBA's marketing problems for the past 2 decades. She's accomplishing what entire PR teams couldn't. Selling out venues, sparking rivalries, and making people care. However, rather than studying her formula, others are preoccupied with counting her endorsement checks. But here's the part that truly hurts. Forbes didn't simply rank her. They crowned her a powerhouse that is transforming the sporting world. They stated that Caitlin Clark's presence has changed the way fans and brands perceive women's sports. Translation: she is the system rather than a part of it. She is redefining what success looks like in women's sports. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver hinted at it, stating, WNBA players will get more money this cycle and they deserve it. Let us decode that. He's simply saying, thank you, Caitlin Clark. Her influence is driving the dollars that enable those conversations.
They're going to cut down 22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has single-handedly changed the game, brought in millions of other young fans, old fans. How about the ratings in college basketball for her? Record ratings. And now in her very short WNBA career, shattering records. Isn't that a win for everybody?
Remember, this is the same league that hardly noticed her following the selection. For weeks, they treated her like she was just another athlete. A year later, her face appears on every WNBA promotion. That's not a coincidence. It's survival. Forbes putting her above billionaires is not a gimmick. It is poetic justice. What's even more incredible is how she's handled everything. There is no drama, diva attitude, or nasty call-outs. Only calm domination. That enrages people like Angel Reese even more. Caitlin doesn't need to yell to be heard. Regardless, the world listens. While others seek attention through controversy, Caitlin achieves it through constancy. She is reinventing history. One album, headline, and endorsement at a time. That's why this Forbes award is more than just a victory for her. It's a plan for any future athlete who aspires to independence. She is demonstrating that you can have skill, market acumen, and humility all at once and develop an empire without the league's approval. She did not wait for validation. She created it. That's why envy is so intense. Caitlin Clark did not enter the WNBA looking for a limelight. She brought her own. And it's so dazzling that it blinds anyone who underestimated her.
What are we doing and why? Please stop. Let's celebrate Caitlin Clark, celebrate her greatness, celebrate her courage to keep pushing through against people like you. Caitlin Clark, you go, girl. Don't listen to these people. Keep going strong. Most of us are normal and have your back.
The truth is that the WNBA, particularly Angel Reese, needs Caitlin far more than she does. She is the face that fans unite around, the reason businesses continue to spend, and the one athlete that changes the needle every time she takes the court. Fans adore her because she is sincere. Sponsors value her because she delivers. The media adores her because every story about her generates numbers. This is the kind of trifecta that defines power. The kind that Forbes couldn't overlook. So when Forbes named her one of the world's 25 most powerful women, it was more than simply a headline. It was a wake-up call, a message to any player who still believes she's been overhyped. A reminder to every CEO who ever questioned her star power. And a reality check for Angel Reese, who is still throwing social media shade while Caitlin is out here changing the game. Caitlin Clark is not only on Forbes' list. She is the list. She's redefining influence, rewriting the rules for what women's sports can be, and demonstrating that genuine authority does not require permission. It demands attention. Caitlin's domination is now official, whether you love her or detest her. There's also the WNBA. They might keep pretending to ignore her, But every silent scroll, spiteful tweet, and jealous glance demonstrates one thing. Caitlin Clark is the standard. Don't forget to show Caitlin some love in the comments. Like, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you next.